So basically, safety's on the gun. You've got a snag safety down here on the trigger. You have to press this little lever on the middle of the trigger to get the gun to fire, and then it will fire. Okay. It's a striker fired weapon.
You guys just look good. I want you on video.
Open on the last round to show that you need to put another magazine in. And then there's also a disconnect so that when the gun is out of battery, it won't fire.
Nice.
So that's a safety. So there's also a drop safety.
A battery?
Well, this is in battery when it's locked up.
Oh, okay.
See, when I push it out of battery, watch the barrel. The barrel will drop. So the barrel drops down and it's considered out of battery, and you don't want it to fire because if it fires like this, you could burst a case and get powder and stuff out.
Okay.
So you always want it to go like that.
Okay.
So that's a safety feature. It won't fire out of battery.
Okay, gotcha.
Then inside the gun, there's a firing pin safety that blocks the firing pin. So right in here, there's a little lever, and you push that lever up and down. And if you notice, like, I'm gonna pull the firing pin striker back. Now, it's physically blocked by this plunger here. You can't hear it rattling.
Yeah.
When you push that plunger down,
Oh, I heard it rattling.
yeah. So that's very safe because no matter what happens, when you're pulling the trigger on the gun, and if you ever have the gun like this and you want to pull the trigger, you have to tension the transfer bar, push it forward, or you'll round off the back end of this little safety in the trigger.
Okay.
So, but as you pull the trigger back, this interacts with the firing pin safety right here and enables the firing pin to fire the gun.
Nice.
So without the trigger being pulled, the firing pin should never be able to hit the primer.
Okay.
And then as you fire the gun, the striker is cocked by this crucifer sear plate back here.
Okay.
Right there, they call that the crucifer sear plate. So as you notice, when it's in its forward position, it's up on an elevated ramp. And that's part of the drop safety too, because it doesn't release the striker up on that ramp. As you pull the trigger, it drops down.
That was nice.
And then it lets the striker go forward and ignite the primer.
Okay.
So those are all the safety features of the gun. And totally passive, you don't have to worry about flipping any levers or anything like that.
Okay.
And just remember, all guns are always loaded. Never point a gun at anything you're not willing to destroy. Make sure your backstop behind your target or threat is clean and you don't have any innocent bystanders or anything back there.
Right.
And then to take this gun down, you have to make sure it's unloaded. I like racka. Pull the trigger. The trigger has to be pulled to discharge the striker. And now you've got these two serrated edges on this lever on both sides of the gun. It's over here and it's over here.
Okay.
So you just put your hand, just finger right behind the rear side a little bit. You pull that back a little bit like that, and then now you take and pull this down on both sides.
Yeah.
And then when you hold that down, the whole upper assembly will slide off. You can separate the recoil spring and the barrel, and that's all you have to do for cleaning is to take it down. You don't want to take it down any more than that.
Okay.
And then to put it back together, it's just the reverse. You stick the barrel in, and it's kind of precision, so you got to get it in there just right. And then make sure it's set down in a lock position. Recoil spring, and there's a little half circle divot cut out of the bottom of the barrel there.
Okay.
That's what this edge of the recoil spring sets in. So it sets in down there like that. If you get it up high like that, you won't be able to get the gun back together. So it has to go all the way down to that little half moon cutout. And then with the trigger pulled back, if you happen to get the trigger forward, you won't be able to get the gun back together. So you want to, again, tension the transfer bar here and then pull the trigger back all the way. And then you've got your slide rail inserts right here, 4 of them, and you've got a rail edge that's machined into your slide that these go into. So they fit in like that. And then it's all back together.
Okay.
And again, nothing in there. So that's pretty much the takedown of that.
Yay. And that's
The Glock 43.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you.
Now I have one of these, but I haven't shot it in years.
Nice.
So this is somewhat the same, but operates a little bit differently. So again, you've got
Ordered this, and then the mailbox is full.
last
This is
round hold
Dominique's
open.
gun for when she becomes 21.
Yep. And this Ruger ECS9, so 9mm again. It locks open when the last round's been fired, letting you know you need to put another magazine into it. To release that, once you put a magazine, there's a slide release here.
Yeah, I have to.
You can either do it like that by pushing down, and it's pretty hard.
The
So
lower parts kit.
let's see.
But I'm gonna have to.
Yeah, definitely
That's
really
serial
hard.
number
There we
on
go.
it, I'm gonna have to do
So
it.
I would advocate, instead of trying to do that, because it's such a small lever and very hard,
Yeah.
just all you got to do is pull it back just a little bit and let it rocket forward.
Okay.
And it'll strip around and charge the chamber.
Well, they have to because it's got a.
So, and then
serial number
again,
on,
this
so-
has a little trigger snag in
You
here.
funnel through an
So if you
FFL.
try to pull the trigger from the sides,
Yeah.
on both sides, it will not pull.
Okay.
So you have to have your finger fully on the trigger to release that
know.
trigger safety,
It's not even
and then the
a-
trigger will come back and
Everything below it.
should pull. Oh, okay. I believe this has a magazine safety.
The barrel, the striking
I think
pin.
it
Yes.
has to do with the
So
trigger.
this will not fire with the
You know what I'm saying?
magazine
But,
out of the pistol.
like, there's no trigger.
The Glock will fire with the magazine out of the pistol.
That's what you were talking about, the white thing. Yeah.
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 So,
It's just weird how they do it.
so with this, when you pull the trigger,
Like my
it'll strike. You don't have second strike capability like some automatics.
It's all
You can
big
keep
in
pulling the trigger,
inventory.
and if the round doesn't go off, it'll keep striking
At
the
least
round.
they can-
Maybe it goes off. But this,
Since
you
it's
just
a
get one
receiver,
shot.
you can just
If it doesn't go off,
check on
wait
it.
it. You want definitely want to wait a few seconds, maybe 10 seconds, and then you can basically open it up and rack that round out.
Okay.
I know we
You
were
would think
talking
for that,
about
all that
the
effort,
effort
right?
and the
That
lower, like,
18-year-olds,
here,
but I get it,
just
21 is
figured
still.
one day they'd check, right?
Well, you know, they send our
But, like,
18-year-olds
if I
off
put
to
it
war.
together right now, then it
They let them smoke cigarettes,
Right.
you know, and kill themselves with cigarettes.
Right.
And they kill them, send them off to war.
Right.
But yet they infringe on their Second Amendment right. They're adults at 18. So to take this down, I'm gonna have to look at the manual
Thanks.
because it's been a long time since I took mine down.
Okay.
With the Ruger?
Yeah, they're not unlike the Glock in a lot of ways.
At least you got an instruction.
And we always advocate reading the manuals
Right.
because
You have
they
to do
go
that
over
to
the
work
safety
stuff.
information.
Yeah.
So
That's her little gun. Okay. Thought I
and you
could
can
get
dry
too
fire
much
both these
attention.
pistols. And what I mean by dry fire is so it's this here. So there's nothing in there.
Right.
This is called a dry fire.
Oh,
So
okay.
you can practice dry firing by getting your sight picture, pulling the trigger, and as long as your sights are aligned when you pull the trigger, it should go right where you point it. Definitely when you're dry firing, you don't want any ammunition in the area where you dry fire. Put the ammunition in like a coffee can.
Yeah.
Go put it in a closet somewhere
Yeah.
because it's very easy to dry fire and then put your firearm up and you reload it.
What are some good
Dry fire again.
places to practice outdoors?
Any place that's in an unincorporated county area that's safe to shoot, either
Okay.
your own property.
Yeah.
If you have, I don't know how much property you have.
Not that much, a quarter of an acre.
Yeah. Or
Where are
anybody
the
that you know
ranges?
that has property that has a safe backstop.
Good question.
So what?
I have
Where,
no idea.
no, I was like, where would be a range?
Outdoor. I want outdoor.
an outdoor.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know. in
That's
your
where I
area,
learned.
So
In a different state, of course.
yeah.
I want to
Yeah,
take her
'cause, like here
outdoors.
on Whidbey Island,
Yeah.
like I belong to Central Whidbey Sportsman Association,
Yeah.
which is just north of here,
Yeah.
and the Rod and Gun Club, and
Nice.
those are, but you have to be members,
Yeah.
or no members to
Yeah.
go with them and go
Right.
go shooting outdoors.
And that gets up in price, being a member.
But it's only like it's 80 something to
Yeah.
join Central Whidbey, but that's, I mean, why would you do that when you
Yeah.
don't cover it?
Is that outdoors?
It is
Yeah.
outdoors.
long as
Yeah, I like the
Halfway up the
outdoors. I like the
I
outdoors.
like the outdoors until it's raining.
Exactly, then indoors, definitely.
Okay. Yeah, the takedown on this is a little bit more involved.
When you say, oh, like you took
Disassembly.
that down. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, so disassembly starts here, and they say keep this pointed in the safe direction, press the magazine latch, remove the magazine. Okay. The safety in the fire position, which would be this safety right here. This
Oh,
is
she's
your
gonna
manual
love you
safety.
for this. Yeah.
See, this will keep you from being able to fire it, so you can have this on and carry it. And then before you need to fire it, though, you have to put that off, which you just do that with your thumb. Let's see. Open the slide and lock it in rear position. This is your slide lock here. And it just catches the slide right there. And don't ever be putting your finger in here or messing around with that, because if this ever closes on your finger, you'll be ouch. You'll have a kind of a bruised finger for some time.
Better than laceration, but it still hurts. Yeah.
So inspect the chamber, verify that it's empty. It is empty. Retract the slide slightly and release it. This will disengage the slide stop and allow the slide to move fully forward. Okay, so that's when I say you can just pull it a little bit back, and then that disengages it because the magazine's out. The magazine has a little catch right here, and as the magazine comes up, that locks the slide. So as long as there's bullet in it, it won't lock, but this area right here locks the slide open. Be sure the pistol is pointed in the second or safe direction. Oh, okay. So this is why they're giving, I wonder why they're giving you this. So this is an inert magazine, and I think it's because you're gonna have to fire the pistol. So they give you this magazine. So it says insert that, pull the trigger, and remove the magazine. Okay. So you could have done that with a regular magazine too, but they wanted you to be safe.
It's a pretty color.
It is. And using a finger or a soft tool, push the takedown plate down. So here's the takedown plate right here. I don't have any fingernails. So
You guys see
get
this?
that
This
pushed
is
down.
a man reading a manual. I'm so impressed.
Well, it's been so long.
He's doing it for women, so thank you.
And let me get my Glock tool. Let me
Now
get my
you see
Glock
why I
tool.
own the Glocks and I don't own Rugers.
Yeah, it's a little detail.
All these other ones.
Isn't it for her? That's why I was thinking something. Yeah.
So you push this down, and there's a pin that we're going to have to get out of there. So the slide must be pulled rearward. You can see you see the pin round and the round cut out in the slide. You want to align those like that because you can get the pin out. Otherwise, that covers the pin and it won't come out. So we'll do something like this right here and there. Get this in right there.
Does that come with it?
No,
Okay.
you have to have like a little punch or something.
Okay. You sell those?
So do you have to have them wait on that thing too then?
Huh?
With the
We're
syrup?
gonna have to run an
Make sure I got it
extra
right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully he'll call, his voicemail's full, so I can't let him know that it's your.
Oh wait, do we have to? No, it's been pulled.
Getting the pin on
So the gun can't be cocked when you do this, but it's a little bit stubborn, so we'll get out a little. It's new.
Nice. Is mine new or no?
Hmm?
Is mine
Yes,
new?
they are
Okay.
both new.
Okay.
This is just new and just tight. And then it's hard because I have to look at it this way and get it to push out. And it says use a paper clip, but I'm thinking paper
Oh,
clips. Paper clips
thanks.
not gonna get this out because it's very tight. Let's see. Let's see, a little smaller punch.
all I need is a little piece of press. And I have like a strategy
Are you excited about your first gun? Nice. Way better than the big shotgun because that thing is heavy. But for 18-year-olds, shotguns it is.
That punch might be a little bit too big. Okay, there we go. My punch was a little bit too big. So this is a 16-inch punch, so you're gonna need, like I said, a paper clip or something like that.
Okay.
So, and then this just pulls out. Okay. It pulls out when you can pull it out. Here we go.
Ah, there we go.
Yep, and then
What was that, if you don't mind me asking?
this right here,
Yeah.
that is the,
Because we work so much to get it out.
we call that takedown pin.
Okay.
And it can only go in and out the same side.
Okay.
Okay.
And the takedown pin does what? I know we can Google this, but it has some
The
safety
takedown
feature.
pin marries the two together so it doesn't come apart when you're shooting it.
Gotcha.
So,
Okay.
and so now we've got it basically the same as the Glock. So you
Nay.
got the recoil spring that comes out, the barrel that lifts out, and that's all you need to do for takedown for cleaning.
Yeah, that wasn't bad. It just had one extra.
Yeah, I had too big of a punch.
Okay.
So, and to put them back in, it's kind of the same thing. With this, you got, instead of having just inserts for the slide rail, you've got a full slide rail, so you can put a little oil on that, and then you can drop a little oil in the slide rail
Like our drill guns.
trough here. Yeah, and if you see something like this, where it's burnishing the metal coloring off of that, a little oil there and just rub your finger
Yeah,
on it.
as you use it, you'll notice exactly where everything rubs. Yeah.
So seat the barrel, and the barrel has to begin dropped in the lock position. And again, there's a little divot for the spring, and it has to be all the way down.
Well, I was looking at it going, I don't want this to go. I'm not going to use my take.
Make sure I got it all the way down there.
I'm glad you guys still had it. I'm glad I called. It was like everything unexpected.
And then again, slide rails into the slide rails of the slide.
That's sweet.
Then we're going to bring it all the way back here. And we're going to do the same thing we did, but we're going to put that pin back in. And where did the little guy go? There he
Right
is.
there.
He's hiding from me.
Nice. Slid right in.
You know, make sure it functions.
Nice.
Got to have the magazine in. See if this magazine works to shoot it. It does. So we just use it. Well, that's nice, because this one would be, if you want to dry fire this, use this, because then you can't have any bullets in it. And also, you can do this, and it doesn't lock open.
Hi there.
Okay.
So, which
Good,
makes
how
it
are you
real good
guys?
for dry firing.
How can we help you?
So, and there is the takedown
Oh,
of the Ruger
all that stuff,
EC9.
right. I mean, it's more than we've ever had in recent times, but it's like the stuff that.
And a lot of
nobody
ranges you go
wants,
to, don't
like-
throw this away. It's called a chamber flag. They like you to have this anytime you're at the shooting bench.
Okay.
And you have your firearm down, they want to
Yeah.
see a little chamber flag in there and make sure
Nice.
that you're unloaded.
Okay.
And then 9mm ammo, you can shoot 9mm plus P ammo in both guns.
Okay.
That's
Do you
additional
have
pressured
some
ammo,
for, you know,
a
some
little
shells on there?
more recoil.
For
I
28.
personally
know,
don't like to
was
shoot
kinda
it.
shocked.
Okay.
I just
don't
shoot
know if
regular
it's still
9mm.
there.
Okay.
It's tougher on your guns, but the guns are made
the
to take it.
9mm.
Plus P.
I only know
Okay.
that because
Yeah.
I was like,
It's
what
tougher
is a
on the
28
gun.
It's
gauge?
tougher on the guns.
Okay,
Because
so
it's,
we'll
it's
stay
extra
away from
chamber
that.
pressure.
Only if you do
Okay.
competition would you even know about
Oh,
that.
really?
Yeah.
Yay, there go our two babies. All right, this is T with DTVeggietales. Over and
We should be at the 5-finger death